Welcome back to the Ed Show. More than a year after the economy took a nosedive, the Dow has worked its way back to the 10,000 mark. So Wall Street's all happy. They're popping champagne. But what about the rest of America? Small businesses can't get loans. Foreclosures are at a record level. And, of course, I've been saying this over and over on this show. And now the New York Times ran an op-ed about it today. The quote, the unemployment rate is now at 9.8%. Unemployment as a share of the population is at its lowest level since January 1984. State governments are teetering near bankruptcy. Solvent businesses are seeing their credit lines cut or canceled. Consumer and mortgage lending are both down, while foreclosure filings rose to a record in the third quarter. Hey, folks, Wall Street may be celebrating, but we can't lose sight of what's really going on in this country right now. Let me bring in Democratic Congressman Joe Sestak of Pennsylvania. He's the vice chairman of the House Small Business Committee. Congressman, is the Obama administration doing enough to create jobs? I mean, I'm hearing stories from small business people across the country that credit is tight. It's tough to get money to keep things going or to expand to create jobs. What about all that?
Let's give it credit for taking some good steps to stop the cratering of our economy, Ed. But no, we aren't bold or aggressive enough. Nor do I believe that our first economic stimulus bill was bold or aggressive enough. Another $150 billion. Every model showed you that we would have had hundreds of thousands of less unemployed today if we had taken more aggressive measures. That you hit it on the head, however. The real problem right now is the acceleration of foreclosures. In the past year, they've increased 35%, and this January, the 25/5 adjustable rate mortgages have an increase now in their adjustable rate mortgages. If we don't have a much more bold, aggressive plan to stop foreclosures, we are not going to be soaking up unemployment, because the small community banks are fearful that the mortgage securities they're holding on to will just more rapidly go into foreclosure.
Congressman, I want you to respond to this comment on this program last night from a North Carolina small businessman named Eric Perry. This is how he called it.
It's impossible to get this money, Ed, and you know what we found in our case is we got froze out just because we happened to be at the wrong bank. You know, we met all the qualifications. I can't tell you how many times I've heard small construction businessmen tell me, sure, where's my bailout?
Absolutely.
Congressman, what about this? I mean, this is very common. I talked to another guy on the radio again today. He's going to be on with me next week going through the same thing in Denver, Colorado. I mean, what can be done to help these folks out to loosen up the money?
First, we've written several letters, I have, to Secretary Gaither. Now that we're getting some transparency by the Congressional Oversight Panel's reports, we have to insist that they begin lending money if these businessmen and women are walking in with historically good credit. They are too risk averse. But secondhand of that has to be a bold housing vesting program where I believe, in a bill that I submitted in March, didn't get much support, but I resubmitted it the other day, we have to begin to address the issue of homeowners, 12 million of them underwater, where their mortgage is more than the value of their house, and begin to address the forgiving of principal. Otherwise, we are not going to have that businessman or woman be able to get the loan from that bank. One, the risk averse. Second, part of the reason is the holding on to mortgage securities. It takes a twofold effort.
And quickly, Congressman, does the Obama economic team, do they get it? Do they have enough experience on Main Street, or are they classroom economists? What do you think?
I wish we had a few more businessmen and women in the administration. They're doing an excellent theoretical job at the top. But you see what walks in our congressional office. There should have been more emphasis on Main Street initially.
Congressman, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. All right, for more on this, let me bring in our panel tonight. Jeff Santos, radio talk show host out of Boston at WWZ, and also Michael Medved, nationally syndicated talk show host out of Seattle. Gentlemen, good to have you with us tonight. Michael, is the Obama administration doing enough to create jobs? I mean, this is the number that's not connecting with Wall Street. The job creation, I know we got the stimulus package going, but I'm talking about job creation from the small business people in America who are complaining that money is too tight. How do they fix this?
Well, it's not an easy thing to fix. And part of the problem is they just released the figures yesterday. They have been able to document all of 30,000 jobs that were created by the stimulus. That means that the administration spent $553,000 per job. You know, there has to be a better way of spending the money. And part of the difficulty here is the answer to creating jobs is not going to be just spending more money. It's going to be taking money away from something else. Because we also had deficit figures announced today.
What about that, Jeff?
Oh, please. It's just the same old Republican stuff that we've heard since 1981 when Ronald Reagan said that government is not the answer. Government is the answer. They can help stimulate this. It's
everything.
Very simple. You put roads, you put jobs, you take the trains, you get tunnels, you take jobs. The union jobs are ready to go. Leo Gerard is ready to go. Bob Haynes, who leads the AFL-CIO in Massachusetts, needs jobs, wants jobs. We can get those jobs. We can get people off the unemployment rolls. We can do it now.
Jeff, the issue is not so much the stimulus package as it is the small business people of this country who don't have anything to do with the stimulus package but can't get credit. The gentleman that you just saw on our air a few moments ago has got an A+ credit rating with the Better Business Bureau. He can't get money. Why doesn't the Obama administration respond to middle-class workers out there who are trying to create jobs?
I agree with you 100%. Open the doors. I see it every day. We need to have credit. We need to have more community banks. Why do we have to have 4 or 5 banks making all the loans? Let's get it out to the community banks. Let's get it in the community. Sick and tired of things in Wall Street. Let's get it down to Main Street.
One of the reasons,
Medved, why can't the Republicans get on board with this? I mean, this is an opening, I think. This is where I think the Obama administration has been very weak. Republicans ought to be nailing the White House on this.
You are completely correct. But one of the problems and one of the reasons that people cannot get credit right now is because of things like a budget deficit that has tripled between 2008 and 2009. No, but the deficit is a huge problem because when people look at the gathering clouds on the economy.
It was the Reagan deficit. It was the Bush deficit. Don't put it on us.
I'm not putting it on anybody. I'm saying this is the reality, Joe, because simply you cannot solve this problem by spending more money, by borrowing it from China. The only thing that's going to get this economy going again is when America is profitable, when the dollar is stronger.
Well, let's start building things here, using American workers. That's the way you're going to do it.
Okay, who's going to pay for it, Joe? Tell me.
By the way, it's Jeff. Secondly, the fact is that American people are going to pay for it. And the top 2% who just got bonuses from Goldman Sachs should be the first in line to pay for it. The top 2% did not get bonuses.
A few dozen people got bonuses from Goldman Sachs. And it's wrong that that's being taken care of.
When half of people make $600,000 a year, that's the people.
Jeff Santos, Michael Medved, final comment from my standpoint. This is going to be a major issue for the Obama White House if they don't free up free up money to small businesses. If they don't free up the money, because on small town Main Street they are squawking about see this Wall Street deal, they see this small business deal. It's not matching up, and somebody better figure it out. Thanks, fellas.